Hello, I'm Andrew Farquhar, and you're listening to the Snackable Marketing Podcast. So in today's episode, I'm going to build on where we left off in the last one, which was using content marketing to grow your business online. In that episode, I talked about how to use content marketing with a marketing funnel on your website, the 3 stages of the marketing funnel, and different kinds of content you can use at each stage and help increase the likelihood of conversion. So if you haven't listened to that one, I definitely suggest that you go listen to it before we get into this one. For this episode, I'll be discussing how to 3x your content marketing without 3xing the amount of time it takes to create that content. So let's get right into it. A big problem with content marketing is that it takes up a significant amount of time. You need to create high quality original content and as much as possible, as fast as possible, really. When you're creating 30 plus pieces of content per month, shaving off even a few minutes from each post adds up to big savings over the month. So to take that concept and put it onto steroids by 3xing your content output. So here's how to do it. Number 1, you start off with making a video blog. Sit down and start talking to the camera about a subject. This will become an episode of your vlog that you can post onto YouTube, Vimeo, and on your website. The next step then is to take the audio from that video recording, isolate it to become an episode for a podcast that you can then post onto iTunes and Stitcher Radio and places like that. And then last, take the audio and get it transcribed, and then have that be your a blog post. So bam, there's 3 pieces of content right there from one topic, and without spending 3 times the amount of time on it. So it's pretty simple, right? Use video, audio from the video, and then get that audio transcribed and have that be a blog post on your website. So now you have an understanding of how to 3x it, your content output. Here are some tips that'll make things even easier for you, because every little bit of time you can save counts. So tip number 1, you really should already be doing with all your content, but be sure to include visuals into your blog post and to break it up so it's easier to read. That's a big one. You don't want to just have huge blocks of text. Next would be for the transcription. You can type it out yourself, or you can get it transcribed by rev.com. That's who I use, for $1 a minute. So that's pretty good. I like them, and it'll save you a bunch of time and effort, because it's hard to transcribe a podcast. I've tried it, and I wasn't very good. So definitely take advantage of that to save time and the hassle. In terms of equipment, you don't need to go out and buy fancy equipment to get started. If you have a basic computer like a Mac, you have everything already. It comes with basic editing software and a built-in camera that you can use. If you don't have a Mac, you could even use your phone. It takes great video and audio. Or you could get a cheap microphone, something basic to get started with, and then upgrade later. So definitely don't let equipment stand in your way of getting started. Another tip would be if you use outlines. If you outline each episode before you get started, take the outline and then turn each piece into a simple slide and put that on the SlideShare, and that's another piece of content that you can then distribute out to your network. And lastly, just get started. Don't let your fears stand in the way. It doesn't have to be perfect right off the bat. If you haven't ever done this before, it'll be rough in the beginning, but you'll get better over time. So definitely don't let that stand in your way. And don't worry about the equipment. You can always upgrade later. But if you just get some basic things, you can still make great quality content. So that's how to 3x your content without 3xing the amount of time it takes to create that content. I love using this method, and it makes a lot of content, and it's pretty easy once you get things started. So thank you for listening. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please share it with your network, and definitely connect with me on LinkedIn or Twitter. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section below at the bottom of the post. In the next episode, I'll be discussing how to create a content marketing schedule and why having one is so important. So thanks again for listening. I'm Andrew Farquhar for the Snackable Marketing Podcast.